Am I live? Is the audio working? I don't know. I never know. Hello, hi, how's everybody doing? I hope that you're fantastic and welcome to this glorious Monday. I probably shouldn't just have that there. Oh God. Okay, well, spoiler alert. Here's one of the topics for today. It's not crazy. Hi, hello. How's everybody? I hope that you're doing fantastic. It is Monday. It's the start of the week. I got my shit together. It's not a Tuesday.
Yes. All right, let's see
What the
I
fuck?
didn't see the nuance. It just saw, like,
Oh, I forgot to open up my Kick. I forgot to open up my Kick chat. I should just honestly leave that. I gotta stop playing my audio. Hello! Hello over on Kick. We're live on Kick and YouTube. Look at me. I'm getting my shit together. Oh, wow. We've actually gotten up to 526 followers on Kick. That's is literally 500 more than I expected to ever get. So that's cool. I don't do much with Kick. I just click go live and then that's it. And then the title is still I'm back, news and muse, edit. Let's see here. Weird creature rants about. There we go. Save. That's a great title. That's now the permanent title of Kick. That's a great title. Stop! Yeah, God damn it, every time. All right, hello! Now that's the kind of diversity hire I can get behind. Amen. Candace is a beautiful creature. How's everybody? I hope that you're having a fantastic day. It's a new week. It's a new week, which means I get to be depressed this week about something else. But also we got big Genshin news. Not just this news, but we have other news as well. But we're gonna double up on all the news. Obviously, last night I started horny posting on Maine because I've just officially. I want you to know that I've actually stopped caring. So usually I would go to my other account to post things like I did last night, and I was just so tired and so stoned out of my fucking mind because I was in so much pain. And I typed out the post that I did. It's not even anything that bad. And I looked at it and I realized which account I was on, and I was like, you know what? Just fuck it. Everybody fucking knows I am a freak. I am weird. Who the fuck gives a shit? Everyone knows that I'm here to meme and I'm here to goon and I'm here to defend the memes and I'm here to defend the goons. So we're just gonna do it and I don't care. So if things start getting progressively more unhinged, I'm not sorry. And it's gonna be a wild ride for everybody involved. Hey, Big Mike, how you doing? How you doing, beautiful? How are you? The other big thing that has happened is I went depression shopping last week. I was literally so distraught. I was so distraught from the Pokemon situation that unfortunately I went shopping. I went shopping from the Pokemon thing, and when I'm willing to spend money, that's how you know that there's a problem. So I went to X-Pen. I've been looking at X-Pen and Huion for a long time. I have had the same Cintiq tablet. I've had Wacom's for ever since I turned 20, right? So I've been using Wacom tablets. So I had their small Cintiq and then I got their big Cintiq thanks to the generosity of a viewer from back then while I was a Twitch streamer. And my Wacom Cintiq is very, very big, but it's more than 12 or 13 years old now. And so it's, the screen, it's still good, but it's not as crisp as it could be. And then it's very big, bulky, and heavy, and it's very difficult to use. It's on an arm that no longer sits straight no matter what I do to it. Yeah, I could buy a new arm, but I don't want to deal with that. So I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little tech envy right now. There's a couple of artists who I watch, who I admire greatly, who both use X-Pen and Huion. So I basically flipped a coin and I said, okay, I'm going with X-Pen. And so I got their flagship model and I thought, okay, I'll get a smaller one because mine is so big to save a little bit of desk space. This is a story literally nobody cares about, but this is why we're taking care of it early. It's like literally just savvy being savvy right now. And so I was like, what's the difference between 16 and 18 inches? Oh, what's the difference up to 23? Whatever, it's fine. So I got X-Pen's biggest possible tablet, their flagship, their most expensive. It was on sale from $1,300 down to $900 something, and I said fuck it. I had some cash from the casino, which I still need to go deposit actually, but it's fine. So this big box comes in on Saturday, and I'm like, oh no. So I didn't solve my desk space problem at all, but I spent the weekend cleaning things up, and then I decided to be extra. So I have two display tablets, right? I have the Wacom Cintiq, which you draw directly on. That's the old one. And now I have the new one. Well, I can't just let a good screen go to waste. So my dumbass decided to figure out how I can optimize and make the X Pen work with 5 monitor inputs. Well, it worked. And I am now quite literally surrounded by screens in a very futuristic pod of comfort. The radiation is pounding me. I will absolutely develop a brain tumor in the future due to electronic interference from the amount of shit that surrounds me. So my desk looks like, and I will take pictures of it eventually. I just need to clean off all the fucking porn so that way I don't get even further fucking shit on. But who cares really? Actually, it's not even the porn. It's actually some of the incomplete research I'd rather get off the screen. And the reason for that is I don't want, the wrong conclusions to be drawn from the wrong things. But anyway, that, and then I have some weird things like some shops open with some types of clothing that I wouldn't personally wear, but like I want to draw, if that makes any sense. Like there's not even just lingerie, but like other stuff. Like I enjoy drawing sexy things. I don't fucking want to buy those things. I just want to draw them. But people are going to say, anyway. So I have a laptop. And then I have 2 iPads. I have 5 fucking monitors. One of the monitors tabs into the other PC tower. And on top of that, I have 2 phones. I am a piece of shit. I am an absolute fucking piece of shit. I am the epitome of sensory overload. And it makes me so happy. And you know what? Behind me as well, there is a big TV on the wall. How many screens do you want? Yes, that's literally me. I told my father, and he goes, I work with computers for a living, and I have 1 screen and 1 computer. And I'm like, yeah, well, it sucks to suck. And he's like, I make more money than you. And I'm like, of course you do. You're fucking old now. And he's like, that's not very nice. You need to respect me. I'm your father. And then he called me gamer words. And then he asked me if I was coming over. And then I said, no, I can't come over because I have to stream. And then he goes, ha, gay, and then hangs up on me. Like, fuck you! Be jealous of me! And my husband comes down and sees the cleaned up setup, and I said, are you jealous yet? And he goes, no. And I said, clearly I need more monitors then. So that's great. That's great. Izonk, how are you doing? I might get superpowers. I'm already there. I am eternal. So in my YouTube chats, I ask that you people pray for Professor Sycamore through the power of the super chat, which, that's all fine in memes. But actually, no, in a much more serious note, I could use a couple of thoughts and or prayers, some mantras, some good vibes. My stomach is absolutely annihilated. The reason why my stomach is annihilated is because I have strange allergies and I can't stay away from the food that I am now allergic to. I wasn't born this way. Thank God. Unfortunately, actually, that's worse because now I know the taste of these things. But so the reason why is I had a shit ton of onion and garlic. I'm allergic to both of those things. I couldn't help myself. The food was so fucking delicious. And today I'm paying for it. So please pray for me. If the stream suddenly is cut short, that is why. I have done my best to empty the tank beforehand. But the tank, of course, still has this bottomless pit of bullshit. And I don't know where these things come from. But it's fine. Oculus, thank you so much for the tippy. Yay for his happy stream. Requisite femboy tax. Bless. The radiation from the monitors will probably lead to more mutations. Probably. Absolutely. Also on top of that, we had a tipperoo coming in over on the other thingy. What the fuck is that called? Streamlabs. A direct thingy. Unfortunately, my son, I have had to turn off the speech to text because I have to be careful about the things that get speech to texted. And unfortunately, I can't have people being silly. So, I have to read it. Your son tipped. You and Amalgamite need to collab on a Pokemon discussion. The combined rant would be legendary. Speaking of that, also, I don't doubt that. Speaking of that, so I have been trying to come up with a very thoughtful script because this is going to end up being an hour and a half long thing. Where am I? Oh my God, am I on the wrong browser? Oh, thank God I'm not on the wrong browser. Holy shit. Some beautiful thighs just showed up on the web browser. I was clicking on the wrong one. But we're good. You guys can't see that because it captures the browser, not the monitor. Thank God. I have a son. No, that's just a meme. I call him son because I can't ever pronounce I can never remember the proper pronunciation for his username. So it's just turned into a meme, and it's very funny. But yeah, so that's that. But thank you guys. Thank you so much for the tipperoos there. Savvy, do you know what parts of the interweb that is not taking a dump? Savvy, do you know what parts of the interwebs that is not taking a dump today? No, everything's getting shit on today. We're going to talk about AWS. There was a big shittening happening there. I sent you a few other supers on Streamlabs. All are perfectly YouTube safe. Oh, did you? Oh, fuck. Okay, hang on. Let me see. Oh, I see it. They're not from yesterday. See, I'm retarded. See, this is why you guys got to remind me too, because I'm actually retarded. My son also says, what's your shit, the problem was it your shit, the problem 5 minutes ago? It's still the problem. I offer the sacrifice for your lower intestines. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's making the internals feel better. Actually, I wish that's how it worked. I wish I could just eat a $5 bill and all my problems would go away. Hey, Savvy, just got a refurbished 22-inch drawing tablet and sparks came out of the power plug at the back when I plugged it in. Should I be worried? Did a fire occur? Yes or no? If the answer is no, you move on to observation number 2. Does the tablet work? If the answer is yes, then you carry on as if nothing bad happened. This is how I live my life. However, because I'm not an expert, legally, I have to say no, you should probably ask an electrician. Oh, man. Hey, Savvy, I'm working at Amazon and all their systems are down. Yes, that's fascinating because we're going to talk about that and why that's a problem. So it's going to be good time. Savvy, you got all the good healing vibes for stomach. Just think of Varka and all the good. Oh my God. I haven't stopped thinking about Varka. Are you kidding me? The fact that his model is the new fucking size for the male characters. He's bigger than everybody. He's taller than Riesli. He is taller than Okay, look, when it comes to yaoi pairings, all right, there is a Goldilocks zone. All right, you got the one guy who's big. That's why yaoi hands are a fucking trope. But you got the big guy, and then you got the not so big guy. But there's obviously a lot of different ranges. Some people actually like it when there's not too much of a spacing. However, if you're gonna have spacing there between the height, oh man, you gotta make sure that fucking chest to crotch ratio is hit. And they fucking nailed it. All right, Venti's tits come up to Varka's goddamn fucking claymore. Oh, goddamn. That is the peak fucking height difference. If you want to find yourself the primest of bitches for fucking, you go for that fucking height difference. Some of you guys, though, I understand you're a little short. It's okay. It works in reverse because then if the woman is taller, then your eyes should be right there level with the nipples. And that is peak. That is absolutely peak. And for people saying, nobody ever draws that. Don't worry. It's coming. All right. I'm working on it. I got some fucking short kings of which I do admire. And it's going to be fine and it's going to be funny. Death Cactus. Thank you so much for the tippy. I feel you paying lactose tax. Oh, yeah, I got those issues too. I know what it's like. I will not be stopped. Shitting my pants is an acceptable price. Yes, I agree. That, and of course, the dairy industry was never going to let us just not have dairy. There's a thing called lactate if you don't have it. Basically, you can pay $15 and get little pills that are just these consumable lactose enzymes so that way you can break down the lactose without any problems. I don't know if there's a difference in like you know how people have gluten intolerance, but then it goes all the way to celiacs and then some other big issues. I don't know if the lactose thing falls into the same category because all a lactose intolerance is, it means that your body lacks the enzyme to be able to properly break down the lactose. So I don't know if you can vary or not. But, I'd recommend that so that way you can enjoy your cheese. That's how I enjoy my pieces of cheese every day that my husband gives me to keep me entertained. God damn it. Thank you so much. See, I'm so confused. Am I reading these already or no? Have I read? I don't think I've read these. I feel your pain, but then another one came in. No. Never mind. Here we go. Your son. Thank you. Draw me some sexy redhead dwarf lesbians if you're taking requests. Oh, interesting. Dwarf redheaded lesbians. Are there any redheads actually that I plan on drawing soon? I don't think so. We could have a look. I got a list. Hey, are there any animal-based soaps on your merch list? Animal-based soaps. You're going to have to be more specific. Speaking of that, I need to take care of my throne thing. Anyway, speaking of Hoyo Himbos, have you looked at Komano Minato from Zenless Zone Zero? I need to, look, I need to fucking get on the Zenless Zone Zero again, because I did see a cat boy. I don't fucking know. I don't know if that's his, I have no idea whose name it is, but he's cute, and I want to experience that. But then they've got their Anima Nexus thing. I don't know, is that the right one? They got their Pokemon ripoff coming, okay? And I've been like staring at the website. I'm sorry, but the Aether clone is so fucking beautiful, so I may not be too depressed about Pokemon for long. Possibly. But we'll see. What just happened? I saw it come up on the screen, but then it's not over on the alert dashboard. Unless it's the same thing. I don't know. Everything's broken. Anyway, let's talk about some of the news. You guys don't want me to just ramble. So Candace's English voice actor has officially been recast for Genshin Impact. And the reason why that this is a big deal... Why are the tits like this? Oh, you know what? This art's just silly. These are just coverings. I thought that they were like censoring it needlessly. For anybody who needs context for this, because people are like, why did people want the English voice actor for Candace to be replaced? Well, there's a pretty big reason why, and that's because she's batshit fucking insane. So she's a crazy bitch. Fuck Hoyo, disrespectfully, she says in a long-winded rant. This was all about Kinichi's replaced VA. The guy lives in Japan. He's not union. The game is not union. All this shit was bullshit. This has got to be one of the most classless things I've seen with everything going on. Have fun with Genshin. You'll never work on anything else. Well, now it's her who actually will never work on anything else. You fucking bitch. It's also interesting how they're recording in Japan for English dub now. Wow, cool. Go ahead and recast me too while you're at it. Well, they did. Because let's be frank, who is going to beat my ass over a video game that underpays its performers and is actively farming their voices so that they don't have to hire real people? That's not actually happening, but, you know, good for you for having a breakdown. I do hope it was worth it. I hope your breakdown was worth it too. Truly, I do. You will never catch me singing that company or any company that operates that way to a simple request of protecting the talent they hired. Well, see, here's the thing though. You personally actually made it unsafe for other talent that they hired by sending your rabid well, clearly nobody gave a shit, by sending your rabid followers after this poor man. Singing praises for, sorry, not sorry, I rage quit. I'm going to delete some of that thread later because this is a semi-professional page. There's nothing professional about it or you. Don't talk to me about Genshin Impact ever again, KK. Yeah, well, now nobody is ever going to, except for everybody who goes and tells you, haha, you got recasted. And I hope that follows her. I do. People are, of course, going to latch on to that because that's what people do. And she will continuously be reminded that she got fired for this. And I think that that's funny. So fuck her. And I'm glad that they recasted it. It's a shame that they have to spend money to do so. I personally think that all of the English voice acting should actually just be deleted because it's quite embarrassing, if I'm being truly honest. Of course, I've said this many times. The English localization is god-awful. I found the individuals responsible for it and the individual who hires these people. And yes, he's exactly what you would assume, and I do plan on doing a write-up on it. But of course, I'm going to be a little bit more... It's going to be a little bit more informative, I suppose, instead of just me going, ah! Because I would like to offer some criticism to him. Not that he has to take it, the individual who does all this, who hires these people. But, you know, we're gonna have a nice solid look and rundown of why the most unappealing individuals are getting jobs in an industry that has no favor for actual talent for whatever reason. When it comes to American voice acting, it's a fucking joke. And to be quite honest, at this point, I really do believe that Chris Pratt should just be voicing every single character. That would be a massive improvement if he was both Aether and Paimon and every single other character. That would be a massive fucking improvement than the states of the English Genshin thing. And the fact that I heard, like, the craziest thing to me, and this is just a side rant, and this is no shade, sort of. I mean, it is. There's no two ways around this, actually. I'm sorry, but who's ever telling English voice actors to over-enunciate and speak like a children's fucking show needs to be taken out back and respectively pushed into retirement. And that's it, because fuck them. I don't know why you do this. So the voice acting for Doin came out, right? And so they play the English one, and then we got a sample of the Japanese one. And then the Chinese one was not out by the time I was still awake, so it must have come out when I was sleeping. But the point being, the English one sounds so fucking bad. Like, it's just, you can just tell he's just fucking reading. It's so bad. There's no emotion. There's no performance. It's just this, Thank you for the caribou. But yes, so you know, it's just reading, it's over enunciation, and there's no emotion to it. Meanwhile, you have the Japanese performer actually paying attention to the character. The character has an issue with fitting in. They're unsure because he's not really human. Spoiler alert, the dragon who got turned into a human is having trouble with humans. The English one does nothing to convey that. But the Japanese one, you can hear it in every fucking syllable, and it's so goddamn annoying that we have to suffer through talentless individuals and even less talented directors telling these people how to read these fucking lines that are localized and changed from the original intent. They're so far removed. They have no idea what the intent is. They're not talking or caring about what the fucking character is. They don't send questions. They don't care. And it's so frustrating. I think there's only like maybe 2 or 3 of them that actually give a shit. Like, I'll say this much. I disagree with you know, women being casted as men. Just because I refuse to believe that there aren't fucking men out there with pretty voices that could have, you know, fit for some of the characters. But like Venti's VA seems like a very nice girl. Seems like somebody who actually has fun. Seems like somebody who does actually give a shit about the character. Like, she's not just trying to be her. And so, like, that's rare to me. That's very rare. Now, that doesn't mean that I like her performance. I think that she's a fine individual, but my complaints still remain. And that's why I also don't necessarily think it's just the English VA's problem. Like, I think anybody could be a voice actor. It's not, you're not fucking special. I think anybody could be a voice actor. However, it's the same thing of anybody can be an artist. You just have to put time into it. You may not be the world's fucking greatest. You may not be fucking Rembrandt. You may not be fucking the Picasso of voice acting, but that's okay. I just genuinely believe that anybody can do it. It's just, you know, there'll be different degrees of greatness, obviously. Some people are just better at delivering characters, like Venti's Japanese voice actor. That is a man of talent. That is a man. By the way, they found a man who is capable of having massive range. And if you listen to him, and I've sung his praises many a time, he goes from sounding like a guy to when he does his Venti voice, and he's very clearly putting on a voice. So, you know, it's like, fuck. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't exist in English, because I hear people do it all the time. I heard people in roleplay put on voices. For GTA RP, I'm sorry, some of the best fucking voice acting I've heard was at 3 a.m. Nobody's streaming these scenes, and like, people are fucking performing their hearts out. And it was the most beautiful fucking thing in the world. Sometimes you get some of the most emotional deliveries, and it was so good and fun. And that's like what really kept me into it too. I love it. I love acting. I love it when people act. I don't like the Dora the Explorer bullshit. Anyway, I'm sorry for that rant. Darth Cactus! Thank you so much for the tibia. Chris P. Rat for president. Yes. Dragon Noodle Soup, thank you so much for the tipperoo. All right, have a good day. Thank you, you too. And Erasmus, thank you so much as well. The horse treatment. I'm just going to say yes. I don't know what that means. Please don't do this to Uma. Wait, what's wrong with it? Don't ruin horse races with bad locals. Oh, I understand. Venti's VA as a woman, immersion friggin' ruined. Yeah, that's why some people had some weird confusions over it. That is one thing I do hate is when, you know, the boy has a girl's voice. Yeah, exactly. And that's what it sounds like. Because, like, so, again, this isn't a diss to her. She's doing the thing that every American voice actor does when they go to sound like a boy or a little boy. Like for Ash Ketchum's voice, I understand a lot of people, of course, have attachments to that. This was before, like, most people became aware of what localization was or anything like that. And again, like, the voice for Ash Ketchum was, you know, like, it was fine, but she's still doing the same thing that the Venti VA has to do, which is like this weird strain that you do, and it's all coming from the throat. And, like, I can't do it very well because I don't like it, and it makes me feel weird. But I know what's going on. You know, it's like this weird constipated thing. And like you're trying to go octaves lower, but you're not actually achieving it because you're just doing it in your throat. It's so weird. And it's I don't know. But yeah, so it's sad. But anyway, so she got replaced, and that's a good thing. That is a great thing. We like that when shitty people get replaced. It's the Trunks and Goten voices as well. So I was watching it in Japanese, but I vaguely remembered like Trunks' first appearance. Like I couldn't do it even at a young age. I could not do American voice acting. It just didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense to me. But that's that news. Some other news today. We are going to talk about Pokemon, but we're not going to talk about Pokemon specifically. So I'm sure people have seen this. This article was written. Digimon Story Time Stranger has officially beaten Pokemon Legends ZA by Dalton Cooper. And then it's official. Pokemon has beaten Digimon by Dalton Cooper. And both of the, one was posted, taken right away. The other one was taken 5 days later. Why are we talking about this? Because this is one of my favorite things. So this is what the mainstream media, this is what all these stupid internet websites do, is they just play all sides because they don't give a fuck. They're just trying to put out as many articles as they can in a day because they have to reach a quota so that way they can get paid. They don't care. The big reason why all of these fucking shitty journalists like to use the word grifter and needed it to stay is because it was all projection from the beginning. None of this is brand new information. Everybody knows this. They needed YouTubers to be seen as themselves or worse, not elevated, because they needed to maintain their paychecks. They don't know what it's like to work for themselves. They don't know what it's like to actually be enjoyed as a human being. They only know servitude to something else and the message. Now, the reason why nobody gave a shit is because everybody knows that the person doing a 6-hour-long retrospective on that PS2 game from, 20 years ago cares infinitely more about the state of gaming than these people. Dalton Cooper, if this is even a real person and not just an AI generated in profile to look like a real person, clearly doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. He just needs to post, that way he gets paid. He doesn't actually give a shit who's beaten who, what it means, comparing apples to oranges, or having an actual conversation. Pokemon and Digimon can no longer be compared. They stopped being able to be compared to each other in the 90s because what happened to them was so completely it was never a battle of monsters. If you were a child, you thought that. There was so much more going on that you just cannot compare them. They are completely different franchises. And just because Pokemon made a bigger global impact doesn't mean that Digimon didn't have any staying power. What happened to Digimon was unfair. The first movie should have never happened the way it did in America. People don't realize this. Those were special episodes. It wasn't a full movie. They were meant to be disconnected. And then on top of that, the movie gets padded with Angela Anaconda. It was niche enough that show was so fucking annoying, and the thing that they put in front of it didn't make sense. That killed a lot of momentum because people didn't know what the fuck was going on. Digimon, though, has always had a more mature storyline. It has had larger world building. And it has always been about more than just catching Digimon, because that's not what you do. In Pokemon, you're encouraged to catch everything, to gotta catch them all, right? In Digimon, you are creating a bond with one character that can turn into multiple. Yes, you can have up to 3 or 6 in your party. I think in later games, I know that you could switch between them in some of the early games. I don't know if they allow you to have up to 6 now. It's probably never been changed, but you know, it's so funny when people try to compare them and they're just completely different fucking games. Digimon, you're not trying to catch them all. You're just not. You're trying to form a bond with an optimized one. That's it. Pokemon, though, it literally tells you, go catch me 100 Pidgeys, so that way we can quote unquote study this fucking data. So, websites like this are dying for obvious reasons. This just puts it into the forefront of how obvious it is. And because they don't have any writers, it's one person who now has to write both headlines instead of trying to be sneaky and give it to multiple people. Because then you could claim, oh, Game Rant has a funny internal battle between 2 of the writers. No, they never did. Nobody cares. They don't care. This guy, like, if Dalton is real, this guy is fucking chain smoking. He hates his fucking life. He's drinking first thing in the morning, pouring the Baileys into the coffee to get through the day, and can barely afford his fucking groceries, all right? This guy does not give a fuck who beat who. He's just trying to feed his cat. And that's it. Digimon greater than Power World, greater than fishing, greater than bug catching, greater than Pokemon. Well, again, you're comparing apples to oranges. I'd argue you can't compare all 3 of them. They tackle different niches and interests and things like that. I don't know. As you get older, you realize that comparing Pokemon and Digimon is retarded, and then comparing Pokemon, Digimon, and Power World is twice as retarded. Not because that's a dig at you. That's just like literally like sit down and really think about the mechanics and the stories of every single one of those games. They are completely different. And that's what makes them beautiful and why each one should thrive. And then you add Monster Rancher into that mix, and again, that one's completely different too. All of these monster games are completely different at their core, but Pokemon has to be an asshole and put patents on shit. Fuck you, Pokemon! You fucking ruined everything! All you had to do was put the professor in the basement! But that's not today's complaint, so we're not going to talk about it. Gotta bring it back. Gotta bring it back and stay on track. Gotta stay on track for speed running the news. I bought Pokemon Time Stranger and Power World. Fuck yeah. I wish my stomach could tolerate morning drinking. I'm glad I don't do it anymore. Some days really push it from the moment I wake up. Don't I know it, though? But hey, that's what the marijuana's for. As you get older, you become wiser on video games and anime, noted. Basically, crash out detected, justified. In whose basement? I don't know. Just someone's basement. Just someone somewheres. I don't care. Yeah, they aren't the same. People just hear Mon and compare. Yeah, no, exactly. It's just funny. It's funny. But getting away from basement dwelling complaints to the real world, Texas being sued over digital ID verification bill, which we knew was coming. So thank God Texas is being sued over that. Now, obviously, there have been a lot of conversations and topics and things floating around from a very small number of people who try to posit themselves as being the majority. Unfortunately, we've had many a back and forth with people who want to ban pornography, who want to do this age verification bullshit in the name of kids. But what they don't tell you is that they built up their following not saying it. And then they hoodwink their followers, and then they wonder why their followers stop following them, because they turn out being pro-censorship when it comes to fiction, which is retarded. I'm against censorship in general, but I am for absolutely being able to tell people that you're a fucking moron. So, most people in this country, when you don't try to hoodwink them about what the ID verification actually is, will be against it. Most people are also against banning pornography, not because they're filthy fucking gooners, but because in the grand scheme of things, not only is it not a fucking problem, But again, when you don't hoodwink them and tell them what the problem actually is, even they, the most, let's just go a step further, even some of the most low IQ individuals in the country, when you stop hoodwinking them, they will say, oh yeah, you know, the ban on pornography is not a big deal. It's not what it is, because the problem is, well, don't let your kids online unsupervised. It's all stupid. But savvy society needs guardrails. The only guardrails we need are from stupid people. Stupid people are allowed to vote. Stupid people have allowed the cities to be run by people who don't want to put criminals in jail. That's what we need guardrails against. We need guardrails for women, because women are apparently so goddamn stupid that they're so easily groomed into hating their own fucking gender that it's disguised as hating men. How do you not see that it's actually just a ploy to get you to hate yourself, so that way you submit to the man further, make the man money, continue paying the man your taxes, all while saying you hate men? You don't hate men. You hate your own fucking gender and you hate yourself, but you can't put into words fucking why. All you can do is parrot the current talking points because that's what you're told to do. And like the good sheepy little whammon that you are, you're gonna go do it. You're not gonna think for yourself. And the minute that you have a bad take, it's going to be the fault of the patriarchy and everybody else is wrong. We all have bad takes. I've had bad takes. I've been wrong before. I haven't voiced myself optimally, but you know what I do? I fucking move on and I learn from it. I say, okay, how can I do this better in the future? And then suddenly you have 7 paragraphs explaining my position. That's how you got there. I believe there should be an IQ test before voting. I'm honestly with Asmongold. Removing the ability of about 80 to 90% of people who vote, removing that, and the world literally moves smoother. Yeah. I mean, I would go like a step further and literally ban specific demographics. Like women, for instance. I would genuinely just ban them from voting. That makes no difference to me. In fact, it would have actually improved my life earlier. Now, obviously, men are just not void of problems. They have their own problems, and we're thrust into goofy-ass global situations because of men. Larry Fink is a man, right? Fucking, what else do we got? The Middle East is run by men. Won't shut the fuck up. Africa, run by men. Won't shut the fuck up. What else have we got? Obama, man. Questionably a man, but still a man. Fucked shit up, what do we got? We got tons of men who fuck shit up, right? We don't need another we don't need the other gender to come in here and say hold my beer. We really don't. We don't need that, okay? I can deal with it when it's just men fucking shit up, because at least then I know that there will be other men who stand up to them. The minute, though, that you try to, stand up to a woman as a woman, and then just all these other random women come out of nowhere who think the way that retard woman does, and then they're just like, yeah, girl power! Oh, you're a sex traitor! You don't see men doing that. I've never seen a man get called a sex traitor. What the fuck? Where's my gender equality? Anyway, wow, this was supposed to be about Texas. Fuck Texas. As somebody who grew up and loves Texas, grew up in Texas, loves Texas, fuck Texas. Fuck them for trying to do this digital ID shit. It's bad. It's going to be very... Now, the thing that freaks me out is Trump has stayed away from this conversation completely. I'm a little freaked out. I think they're weighing it. I think that we're going to see some polls asking about it. But if I could give any advice to the White House, nip this shit in the ass right fucking now. Tell them they're being stupid. Tell them this isn't the way. Tell them that you see what's happening in the UK and you say, no, we're not going to do that and we're going to actively fight this. American companies don't need to be held responsible for the dumb shit other people say on their platform. Now, what they should kind of be held responsible for is if a crime occurs on the platform, they should actually report it. It should be reported. And that should not be used against them. The other thing that does need to happen, of course, and this is my favorite ramble to do, is no application should be advertised as being for anybody under the age of 18. This isn't just to age gate and make everything fucking R-rated. No, it's actually for the opposite effect, to make parents sort of kind of maybe look at things, because the less that advertising happens to children, the better. The reason why advertisers have so much power is because of the way that the advertising works on a platform. The only reason why Twitch just doesn't fully commit to being considered an adult platform is because because of the advertisers. The advertisers say, no, you're gonna make things child friendly so that way we can spam our shitty products to children and groom them to become consumers, right? That's the issue. The reason why things don't work anymore on X and the reason why X can't be controlled is because Elon Musk has a fucking spine. And if X were to lose money, he doesn't fucking give a shit. He has multiple cash cows. Right? So he said, fuck the advertisers. And now we get to have porn on X, no problem. We can have our not safe for work pockets. We can have our safe for work pockets, and everybody just gets to be. Now, they still are censoring things because obviously some governments are stupid, but you know what I mean, right? 18 plus only in the public square. Yes. The other big thing to that is I'm just tired of children just being treated like they are citizens. They're not. Okay, you don't get to have a say. Like there's all these 15-year-olds, right, running around on the internet thinking that they're right. Like when I was 15, I was posting on 4chan. I didn't think that I knew everything in the fucking world. But, you know, like I was contained and then I kept myself respectful in terms of not putting the fact that I was 15 on display, right? So I wasn't trying to say, you know, everybody's, you know, whatever. And I was also never like an anti in that regard too. Like I didn't give a shit other than furries. But it's like it's socially acceptable to say like, you know, fuck furries. But now I defend, you know, furry art, assuming that the person isn't pathological, and exhibits physical symptoms, right? Because then it stops being fiction and about words and starts being about action. Which, you know, there are some animal fuckers out there who needs to be called out for animal fucking. That said, some of the most talented costume makers in the world are furries, and I will not be challenged on that. I'm sorry. To make a fursuit in some of the detail that I've seen, especially the Japanese ones where they're more like realistic, that's fucking talent, dude. Like that's the kind of stuff that I respect. Somebody who's creative like that, who's not just doing this for fetish bullshit because they want to fuck a dog, right? Our timeline is horrible. That's an understatement. Son, I'm willing to give up 0 rights for the sake of children. In fact, I am willing to see every child in the world. Okay, expire before giving up a single right. Well, no, I wouldn't go that far. This is a bit extreme and obviously hyperbole. But no, I'd rather there be. So here's my thing. The digital world isn't fucking real. Crazy. I know. Shocking. Wow. The digital world isn't real. Children don't belong on that. You know where children belong? In the community. They belong on the playgrounds. And so those places should be made absolutely safe. If there is public Wi-Fi in a town square where there is a playground, I am 100,000,000,000% on board with the service provider blocking access to things like Pornhub, to things like fucking hentai.com, right? I'm totally cool with that. I'm not unreasonable because children belong in the town square. And if the internet is being provided to the town square, that should be censored. But in the privacy of my own fucking home where there is no child, if it's fucking Friday night, my husband's off at the bar, you know what? I need some reference images. I'm gonna fucking go to hentai.com. I'm just using arbitrary words. Don't actually go to hentai.com. I don't know what's there. But you know what I mean, right? You know, nobody's gonna fucking tell me what to do. And I shouldn't have to verify anything. I'm an adult who pays for the house that I live in, who pays for the internet, who had to fucking age verify while having to get a credit card, right? There's no reason for that shit. So, you know, we can have conversations. There are conversations to be had. Everybody can be happy. But unfortunately, one side doesn't want to do any fucking work. They just want shit to be banned and then think that that'll solve the problem. I consider anybody who just goes straight to banning something as low IQ. Because the government banning the pornography is not going to stop anything. That's not going to stop me. So for instance, right? So here's the other funny thing. Here's the other funny thing with this conversation. So I don't have any kids, right? And they're trying to do all this ID verification and just ban porn, right? Let's say that they just straight up ban pornography. What are you gonna fucking do? Are you gonna come into my house? And then are you going to look at my saved files for things that I've drawn that are pornographic? If you do that, it's not gonna end well for you. if you enter my home and force yourself onto my computer to check my files? What realistically are you going to do? Oh, well, we're just making laws so that way you can't distribute it. No, you want to ban pornography. How are you going to ban something while allowing me to create it? And then they shut the fuck up because they have nothing. You can't get rid of the naughty thoughts in my brain. They will always be there, just like they'll be there for every fucking human being, because guess what? We're just a bunch of dumb animals at the end of the day, and we like to look at the naked jiggling titties. All right? They would traumatize themselves? Oh, yes. Hen tie, hens wearing ties, exactly. It'd be like V for Vendetta. It would be something. But yeah. Parents do need to use parent controls. They really do. I was sent something by someone. I meant to respond to them. Thank you for reminding me. This will remind me for after. I need to look into this, but apparently a service is now tying parental controls behind a paywall. And that needs to get talked about, but I need to do some research to verify, to make sure that that is what's going on. But like the screenshot I was sent was unmistakable. It said specifically like, you know, get more controls for $2.99. And I'm like, the fuck? And the fact that it says more controls is concerning. So I'm going to look into it. I'll make a thread if it ends up being true. If not, then everybody, you know, we can wipe the sweat from our foreheads and be like, okay, they're not trying to do that. But I mean, it's pretty unmistakable. But I do just need to look into it. So anyway, so fuck Texas. Fuck Texas for this. I hope, obviously, Texas fails in this and then every other state follows, because ID verification is retarded, especially with how many hacks are going on. And this directly ties into the next conversation. I don't actually think... Yahoo! Space Monkey, thank you so much for the tippy. Grok censored X, not totally bullshit. Grok censored X. What do you mean Grok specifically censored X? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? It says fuckers from California. Yes, this Texas bill won't survive Supreme Court. No, it definitely won't. Discord ID leakers? Yes. Yes. You need to look into the Gina Davies Institute, and yes, that Gina Davies. Yeah, there's a lot of things on my fucking list. There are. No, we're not dumb animals. We have evolved to something beyond that. We have everything we need to go beyond. No, we will never go beyond, because unfortunately averages exist, right? And the average human being is fucking stupid. So if the average is stupid and the sample size is only growing, we have a disproportionate amount of stupid that needs to be carried on the backs of the few intellects. It's not going to happen. It can't happen. It never happens. And that's why we will never advance past a certain point. We are doomed to repeat the same cycle over and over and over again. And do you know why? It's because we shouldn't even exist in the first place. We are most likely inside of a black hole of another universe. At any single point, our simulation can indeed collapse. Enjoy the stupid that we have now. Just enjoy it. It's the ground zero of DEI and entertainment. It's not. It's really not. But okay. Like, we have multiple starting points. There is no one source of it. There's no one source. IBM likes to personally take up the fucking mantle. But there is no technically one source. The big thing, the big push was Fink, unfortunately, and tying it into ESG. But it is what it is. Think about how smart the average person is, then realize half the population is on the other side. Yes, and that's terrifying. I may have been an accident, but so was everyone else. Exactly. Simulation theory is cope. Yes, it is. Yeah, it absolutely is. But there's nothing else that makes sense. Nothing else realistically makes sense to me. Out of everything that I have read, out of everything I've ever researched, out of every great philosopher that has ever philosophized, literally the only thing that makes sense, if you really consider the need for a starting point. Simulation is the only thing that makes sense. And then it still cycles back to who's running the simulation and where do they come from. We cannot comprehend where things go. Linduke is scathing on IBM. Fuck IBM, dude. I just got here. What's happening? I'm having an existential crisis because, well, it's Monday. That's why. Oh, man. The other big thing that happened was Amazon Web Services. I was looking to see if I had a tab, but I guess not. No, this is just home. What is this? Oh, no. Oh, God. The most annoying people in the fucking community are going to comment on this shit. I hate the American fandom so fucking much. Like, I just fucking hate them. Holy shit. Anyway, AWS went down. And this is something worth talking about because of how much is tied to it. Now, a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to Microsoft or Amazon, their biggest moneymakers are their cloud services, their servers and shit that they offer. So much is built off of AWS. And the reason why Amazon doesn't really give a shit about Twitch losing money is because their big moneymaker is AWS. So long as they have that, they can literally do whatever the fuck they want and make as many rockets as they want. Now, AWS has contracts all over the world. The scary thing is they are contracted to our government, to our military, to grids that are important to infrastructure. They run so much. Now, we have no idea what caused this. I'm not saying that this was a hack. I'm not saying that anything crazy happened. I'm not saying that that there was a massive security breach. We don't know. At least I don't know. There might have been updates, right? Nobody's said anything as far as I'm aware. The reason why that this is going to be a cause for concern in the future is because we don't have any form of competition. It's tied to 3 major companies offering services, essentially. Even Salesforce functions off of AWS. Now, I actually took AWS certification classes a while ago because during the pandemic, I needed something to fucking do. So I'm a little bit familiar with AWS, the basics, how it functions, how to set things up, like literally nothing special, right? But I have a little bit of experience with it. And the only reason why I say that is because that's how big the service is. I thought that that would be a valuable thing to know in case I chose to go work for a company. I wanted to have a basic understanding of where they stored their data, what they ran on, how they set something up. So that way, if there is a technical problem in the future, I could at least participate in the conversation to understand possibly what the problem actually is. So that's why I did that. And when you think about it, that's you know, like, yeah, that's kind of cool that such a thing exists. But at the same time, you're like, okay, well, what if AWS goes down? What if a foreign government who is our enemy hires a glorious hacker to make the oopsie poopsie and shut shit down? That's what war is going to look like in the future. And by allowing AWS to be what it is, it's the same thing with Visa and MasterCard being too big to fail. They'll just have a cost of business, right? So they'll never be held accountable for anything because of the contracts with the government, for example. Amazon can get questioned about Twitch all that they fucking want, but nobody will do anything because AWS exists. This is going to get very dangerous very quickly if our security infrastructure doesn't improve. However, the issue with that is technically the internet itself was not built to be something that is truly super safe, right? So, you know, you can, when I was a child, I managed to get into the back end of a website. That was way back in the day. Way back in the day that my dumbass could do it. Obviously, it's not so easy now. But the point being, security was not at the forefront because nobody knew what the internet would become. So when the foundations are not as good as, you know, being future-proof, like for technology for this, well, then there's going to be some problems. And how could you future-proof it? You literally fucking couldn't, right? So it's not so much here's hindsight's 2020. It's that The complaint isn't about the internet being unsafe. The complaint is thinking that the internet is safe and then tying all of our data, all of our information to it with no consideration for an alternative or backup, or trying to improve the concept of the internet to allow for true security and true safety and true measures and things like that. But even then, that would be, very, very difficult to achieve. So if we as a species were just a little bit smarter, we wouldn't be tying literally every little fucking thing to the internet, to AWS. Because now we're creating a system where we will struggle should something go down. This is seen on a smaller scale when you look at a game studio. If we tie it back to the game studio. Sorry, somebody said no audio, but nobody else is saying it. So I'm assuming it's just a you problem, not me. Where was I? Fuck, now I'm distracted. God damn it. Look what you did. Look what you did. Oh, I had a point and I was about to bring it all home. Oh, small scale in the gaming world, right? So we have these stupid studios who engaged in dumb fucking hiring practices and terminated all the white guys who actually knew what was going on, so that way they could bring on their tax breaks, right? So if you have 20 people who made an engine and then you fire all but one of them, right? The incoming staff have no idea how to use that engine, but they can be taught. Okay, so then they get taught, and the second game is, it's fine. It's a little clunky, but whatever. And then the last remaining guy gets fired because, they didn't have any problems, and all that remains are the people who were taught the basics. So that way they could, repair or so that way they could interact with the engine and build the game. Well, now it's time for the third game, and of course that round of individuals, let's say only half of them got let off, and then 15 new people come in. They don't know how to use it. Now they're getting secondhand information on how to use this engine. But hey, guess what? It's time to update the engine, but nobody knows how, so now they have to bring in new people to build a new engine to try to merge with that, but nobody who knows how to use the original engine actually knows anything about the engine or its technical specifications whatsoever. And so then you're just left with a bunch of monkeys scratching their fucking heads, having no idea what to fucking do. This is that small scale that I'm talking about where nobody knows how to do anything. If you bring this now into a grander scale where people don't know what the fuck they're doing, you're not going to be able to repair anything. You're not going to be able to have improvements the way that you should. And that's why I say that there's only like a few bright minds trying to protect all of us. And it's just not scalable. It's just not happening. 3 generations to topple an empire. Exactly. This is why empires fall every 100 to 200 years because of that, right? Many such cases, exactly. Microsoft moment. Recall how they actively replace their staff working on Halo Infinite on a monthly basis. Exactly. It's literally that. If you're constantly cycling people, nobody has any ability to learn and grow. That's not saying that the second round of people weren't capable of growing. It's that they were set up to fail. That's the whole point of that. Savvy, what you have outlined is what I heard on why CD Projekt Red dropped the Red engine. Yes, that's literally why. So I used to be an ignorant, dumb fuck who thought, just use Unreal or Unity. Like, these are specific services here that are made to create, the engine. Let them worry about the engine and maintain talent while you just use this service. That way, if something goes wrong, they'll deal with it, right? And then you can just focus on creating the game. No, that is fucking stupid. I see the error of my ways. That was a dumb motherfucker, all right? A custom engine means that you have total control. So, as much as I fucking cannot stand Pokemon and what they've done with their custom engines because they're fucking retards, at the end of the day, it's still superior for them to have that because at least they know what's going on with their system. Granted, we're still beta testers and clearly what's going on is garbage, but I would rather have that at least than something looking like the normal Unreal Engine 5 slop. Because that's what it's creating. Nobody knows how to go beyond the basics. Anybody can set up a beautiful environment in Unreal Engine. It is no longer a remarkable thing. This is why I hate realistic graphics, because all it is just using something built into the engine. Nobody created something of interest or value. They didn't put a specific vision in mind. Now, your vision could be realism, sure, but at the end of the day, that's going to look like everybody else's shit. So, like, why would I play your slop when I could go engage with fiction that actually looks like fiction instead of somebody chasing the fucking leaf or hair particles, and then the game is actually fucking ass because they spent all that time focusing on the wrong goddamn thing because they don't know what they're doing. I hate Unreal 5. It looks so samey. You can have people use Unreal Engine and create something unique and different and stylized. You can, but because nobody knows what they're doing, we don't see that anymore. We don't see that anymore with the AAA, and it's very sad. It's very sad. Unreal Engine 5 stutters so bad. Yes. Nobody optimizes for anything. Nobody does that. So that was the whole point on that little bit. But anyway, to bring it back to AWS, they have a monopoly. Things are going to get scary in the future. Protect your data. Protect yourselves. Be aware of what services you use regularly that are tied to AWS. Chances are things you interact with daily run on AWS. Also, the other thing, and I put this out in the tweet, I bet you if anybody investigated and somehow managed to actually find proof of this, I bet it exists, but I wouldn't be surprised if AWS offers specific rates for major companies and then higher rates for smaller individuals. That's just usually the name of the game because you can benefit each other, right? So like Roblox, for instance, runs on AWS. Gee, I wonder if their fucking trust and safety team is besties with the trust and safety of AWS. Oh, wait, I already know that they are! Isn't that crazy? But yeah. Create a NAS too. Yes, you should always create your own fucking storage and everything. But yeah. Yeah. The other thing that's been very funny, I've memed on this excessively on Twitter. In fact, I memed on it so hard I got into a back and forth with a retard. I've been having a great time with this. So the milk cup happened. This was supposed to be a girls, I guess, Fortnite tournament. I don't know. A guy won. Big surprise. And of course, women are bending over backwards to accommodate the mentally ill man. But I think it's fucking hilarious that 99 women could not beat one guy. Granted, they were in teams, and of course, he had a female teammate, and she's like, oh my god, I did it against all odds! You had a dude on your team. Like, did you say thank you? A woman burned herself very, very aggressively. Let's see here. Hang on. Oh, fuck. What is happening? Hang on. How do I hide the opera thing? Just in case there's some tits. Usually this account is pretty well curated, but when I try to go back to mine, sometimes you can see some booba. I just can't help myself most of the time, you know? But I think that this would be a very funny thing to go through. I think it's quite funny. Okay, here we go. Opera, there we go. So this individual, Savannah, women are not less skilled than male gamers. The reason behind holding the milk cup for women exclusively stems from allowing them to have their own space. Women are not any less talented. They are just more susceptible to stereotype threats compared to their male counterparts. This didn't make any fucking sense, but a dude won, so I said 99 women can beat one dude. Stop it. Educate yourself before you argue with me. I hope your crush picks you, girl. Oh, well, it's a little funny that you say that. It's a little funny. But eventually the response led to this. I don't even date men. I date women. After spending years looking for a man, realized no man would touch it. Now she's trying to date women. Now, I genuinely thought this individual was in their late 30s. Turns out, no. No, apparently this is somebody who's young. I don't know if that's a tit pic, so I won't scroll down there. Oh, no, it's not. She's dressed. All right, good. But yeah, so apparently a Fortnite creator just wants to bitch, though, about men. But yeah, very funny. Very, very funny. So she's going on about how she hopes that people pick me. Like, bitch, I was picked. In fact, during those same years that you were begging for a boyfriend, I was already married. It must suck to be that fucking lonely and depressed. And even though she's quote-unquote dating women now, ain't no woman wants her either. It must suck. Must be so suck to be so unlikable that neither gender wants you. Oof. Gosh, that's awful makeup. It really is. Fucking pronouns every time. Stephen De Leon, thank you so much for continuing your membership. Oh, look who's streaming. Asmund Savigold, the weeb. Go wash your greasy hair. I did, actually. Today I'm not using the webcam, not because I didn't shower, although I could use another shower. I got stinky last night after I had a big cry. I had a big cry over some dumb shit, though. It wasn't Pokemon. Don't worry. I just had an existential crisis. But I did get a little smelly, but I'm not that bad today. No, the reason why I'm not using the webcam today is because I'm in constant pain and my stomach is needing the big rubs, so I'm constantly rubbing it. But yeah, when men and women agree on something, oof. 100%. I used to be more laid back and have the philosophy, normally still do, but when constraints need to be gate kept and more shame, live and let live, because I just want to chill and grill, but these weirdos and freaks won't let us. Amen. Nobody just lets us do it. Oh God, you okay? I'm okay. It's fine. I'm having a time. I'm having the time of my life, being allergic to things that I like to eat. So the milk cup has been fucking hilarious because of this shit. Oh, here's the tweet about the AWS stuff. So you can see like what's attached to it. Coinbase, by the way, being attached to it should absolutely scare you because they want to be seen as a legitimate financial institute. And of course, they're not the only one. They're not the only one. But just seeing them go down, that should frighten people because that won't be the only one attached to a service that could potentially go down. That's not their own. That's the point. This is all fun, goofy shit for the moment. Like Robinhood, Ring, people rely on it for security. Spectrum is the fucking internet, entertainment, rideshare shit. Like this is actually a problem, right? So, very big problem. So from your Asmongold comment earlier, are you no longer for democracy? I'm for democracy, but I don't believe stupid people should be allowed to participate in it. And if that's anti-democratic, no, that's considering the greater good of the species. See, I don't operate on standard morals. I think about things in terms of how does a species survive. So things like eugenics are actually beneficial, and every single person participates in eugenics in some way, shape, or form. Your preference towards a mate is a form of eugenics. If you prefer blue eyes over brown eyes, or if you consider a blue-eyed individual more attractive for whatever reason, even if you don't realize that it's the blue eyes, that is a form of eugenics. You are practicing selective breeding, right? In the same way that we should be practicing selective breeding so that way we can continue on our species in a useful manner. If I were to, for an instance, have a brain that was broken, I would seek out a moron to breed with. But because I have a proper one, I'm seeking out an individual who matches me intellectually, or at least what I perceive as being matched with, or somebody who's smarter. In this instance, my husband is very much so smarter in a lot of areas, but I balance out what he doesn't know. He doesn't know things about the internet, for example. He doesn't know what a VPN is. I'm joking. He has to use one, but we had a very funny... it's a joke. I'm not going to explain the whole joke, but basically there was one day where he just had a brain fart and he forgot what a VPN was. And it was very funny because he uses one every day to get into work. But anyway, wow, I love your opinions, even more savvy. No, I'm just realistic. It's biology, right? Every single person does this. And so if you like just here, let's say we have a society, we have a town, right? And you live in this town, and there is an irresponsible pair who is constantly taking more resources from everybody else. And then suddenly a tax program has to be created because these people in this small group of people are constantly needing help and supervision and getting into things, right? Now, let's say you allow them to breed and multiply, but everybody else is busy working. So they're not breeding and multiplying on a massive scale, matching the stupid. And so suddenly you go from having, saying, maybe like 3 or 4 retards to having 20 in your small town. Would you not at one point want them to stop breeding so that way you can actually get some sort of a benefit or have a fucking breather? Would you not want that? Because I would want that. If a bunch of stupid people keep breeding and then leeching off of the rest of society, that's a problem. That's literally a fucking problem. No immigrants below 110 for IQ. That's actually how it should be. You should want to stay in your own country to bring up your own fucking country, right? If you have nothing of value to offer another nation, you're worthless to that nation and people have to pick you up. This isn't talking about the people who come over here seeking a better life who actually give back to the community and do something useful. I'm talking about the stupid people. We're talking about the useless ones. And we're also talking about the military-aged men who are illegally coming here, right? Those are all the worthless individuals who do not belong. And if you can't be fucked to make your own country better, you won't be fucked to make this one better either. One of the big things that, even though I hate my mother's father, right? Terrible, evil man. He immigrated from Poland to America, and he contributed to America in a way that is actually fucking useful. Unfortunately, which means I have to sing praise about him to some degree, right? This is an evil person. I hate him, but goddamn was he actually useful. That is a useful immigrant. On top of that, he led to my mother, which led to me. So, kind of a net W, I suppose. But one of the things that he was also doing while providing jobs in America was he was still sending things back to Poland and still trying to make things better in Poland. Now, he did end up helping more family coming over, and it is a complex situation in that regard, but we still have a lot of Polish family who chose to stay because they believe in making Poland better as well. But he did help them with that. So like that is like beneficial immigration. So not only was there an increase in jobs because of him, but also America got to, experience a little bit of a growth thanks to him as well. Savvy is Polish. Yes. I'm a first generation American. My father and his wonderful family and my grandparents, who I acknowledge as grandparents, they're Canadian. My Canadian family is still in Canada, hence Canadian family. They immigrated from Ireland and Italy. And they contributed to society, and they were useful. Unfortunately, not every immigrant does that. We're off topic. Typical Savvy stream. Yes, we're terribly off topic. How did we get here? How did I get on eugenics and immigration? I don't remember. She's a lot of things but normal. Yes. So how's Canada? Oh my God, it's a shithole. I hate going there so much. I hate driving it. I hate it. I hate driving in Toronto. I hate Ontario so fucking much. Everyone's fucking stupid. I can't do it. Well, she makes some great logical points. I believe it's important to remember they told me white people bad, orange man bad, and they screeched re for 20 minutes. Yes, true. It's a compelling argument. Imagine having to live there. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. I think Savvy is normal. It's the world that is FUBAR. It's okay. I'm not normal. It's okay. Oh, man. I really dislike the narrative that some have regarding hating on legal immigrants that send money back to their country of origin to support family, as it's money not spent in the U.S. economy, and thus they're not acclimating for that reason. Yeah, I don't like that either. I think if you are a legal immigrant and you're not only contributing to the society of which you are joining, but then you still have extra money to send back, like that's totally fine by me. I don't give a fuck about that. That's fucking fine, because eventually it all contributes to the global economy. I would like Poland to be great. That doesn't mean I'm anti-American. I want Japan to be great. I want all these countries to be great in their own way. And doing business with other countries is a great way to do that. We need to do business with other countries, but we should also want to preserve those countries as they are. I don't want Poland to turn into anything else. I don't think that anybody needs to immigrate to Poland for diversity reasons. I thought about moving to Poland several times, not only to be closer to family that I enjoy being around, even though I can barely understand them, but also because the cost of living there is super fucking cheap. The thing that stopped me prior was, one, the language barrier, and two, I didn't want to necessarily leave my family here. But, my husband and I have talked about it. We've talked about moving to Poland or Germany or Canada, any of the places that we have access to. We would never go to Germany. Oh my God, though, things are scary there. So like in Canada either. Canada is fucking too expensive. But, we've talked about it. We've also talked about literally getting a small place somewhere else where he's got some other family. But all the taxes are stupid. Lived in Canada for 2 years just before the invasion. Went back last year. Holy crap, the difference. It's terrifying. I can't even go to the local fucking Walmart without having a goddamn meltdown because nobody speaks English, and then they stand in the middle of the fucking way. And then one of the times I watched two Somali women just walk out with a cart full of shit that they clearly stole. And like other people are like standing around like, did they pay for that? Like they walked out the gate that, you know, one of their other people opened to let them out or whatever from the other side. It's look. I was very angry that day. All right. And even the security guys, like, we just don't do it because we don't want the problems. All right. And it's like, fuck. Just fuck. That's all I have to say is just fuck. I'm American first, but would like Argentina and other places to do well. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. I would love to see some of these people or some of these places, you know, thrive. I would like everywhere to thrive. I would like everywhere to be peace. It'd be cool. It'd be wonderful if people just stayed in their own respective countries for the most part and actually improved them. But they're not doing that. And I think that that's wrong. The Canadian one is both, unfortunately. It's just when the GDP of a country is 50% from sent money, this means that it's a failed country. That is Mexico. That I would need to, if we're going to talk about actual numbers, I would just have to look into that. If that's what you're talking about there, I don't have like in terms of referencing numbers, I don't know if that's a conversation that I'm necessarily comfortable having, because I don't know everybody's GDP off the top of my head or how that influences the immigration or money being sent back. Like, I don't have a total view of that. Me and a friend are thinking about moving to Japan due to the cheap prices, job opportunity, and because we love, respect, and embrace the culture. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that that's totally fine. But at the same time, you know, you'd want to contribute to the society. Like, I have an easier time. If I wanted to immigrate literally to any major country in the world, I can because of my degree. I'm seen as somebody who's beneficial. They were fast tracking people. This is long before I bothered viewing politics or anything like that. I always wanted to move to New Zealand. I had a dream of either living in New Zealand or Japan. And my degree allowed me to do that. So with New Zealand, they fast track you if you have a certain degree. And biology was one of the ones that they would have fast tracked. And then what you do is you present a business proposal on what you would bring. And then they would even consider funding it. So that was something that I was looking at when I was doing the hydroponic farming. And I actually talked to somebody about it, and it would have been very easy. Now, I know the truth. Yeah, New Zealand is terrible. Would not ever want to live there now. Holy shit. Same thing with Japan. Because of my degree, it makes me seen as valuable, so the immigration process would be much easier. Same thing for my husband. He is especially valuable. On top of that, the company that he works for already has locations out there. So we have an easy into Japan, for example. But we don't want to move far away from our family because of the health problems in both of sides of our family. His mother has cancer. And then my grandmother and grandfather up in Canada are not doing well. And then my mother has back and forth health problems that I do a lot of, that I do assist with. So basically, we're just like constantly around family. And if we were to move to Japan, we couldn't have that anymore. We're very lucky to be where we're at, for sure. But yeah. Girthy Banana, thank you so much for the tippy. I wish California would be better so their people can leave my state and go back home. That was so annoying. How much California flight can you have? I believe that if you honestly voted for fucking Gavin Newsom, you should have been shackled to the fucking state. If you vote blue for any of those cities, for any major city, and you try to fucking leave, you fuck right back to where you voted. You fuck right back. Anybody who doesn't vote for that, free to come and go as they please, whatever. But if you vote for individuals who state they want to get rid of some of the criminal policies and reduce what you get in trouble for, no, you fuck right off. You should be forced to be shackled there. What I want to do won't work in the U.S.? I don't know what that means. That frightens me. Please, yes, we tried to vote him out, still voted him back. Yeah, I don't know how that happens with so many people leave. 100% rub the puppy's nose in it. Exactly. That should happen. Put your money where your vote is. Exactly. Exactly. Like, I'm stuck where I'm at and I don't fucking vote for this shit. Like, we can't move even if we want to. And it sucks. And that's why you tie voting to land ownership. Ooh. Bring that back. Bring that back. 100% bring that back. You have to own your home. You can't rent your home. You have to own your home. That would cause a cascade that would actually take care of Blackstone. Because then you would have to ensure that enough homes could be owned, and then you would prevent massive buyouts because the renting would be seen as a negative now. That or military service? I agree with the military service too. Because the army is home then. Yeah. The military service thing makes sense. Would remove 80% of the voter base, I would assume. I don't actually know. Let's take a little look-see. Ah, son! Those fleeing from California should be driven out of whatever state they settle in. Citizens should make their lives impossible. Also, I'm considering retiring to Thailand if possible. A good place to go. Yeah, no, I think that if you come from California and you voted blue and then continue to vote blue and then just keep leaving, like, you deserve to fucking never know the taste of a ripe strawberry. Percent of renters in America. Let's see here. How many people, as of 2025, approximately 31.4% of Americans rent their homes, equating about 102 million people living in rental units. This figure, how does that, really? It's that low? So it goes from 31 to 35%. The shares of renters have been on a slight upward trend, reaching levels not seen since the mid-20th century, with the rate peaking in 36.6% in 2016 before stabilizing. That's not really stable, though. New York has the highest percent of renters, however, at 46. California follows at 44. Well, duh. But that would save so... That would actually turn... I think that would turn California and New York red. That would actually turn it red. If you removed their ability to vote, the renters in both those states, it would turn it red. Look how many public storage units there are now versus the 80s and 90s. That is true. That is a great thing to look at. That's a great thing. Women getting homes from divorces. That also needs to go away. I'm sorry. The whole fucking overly sympathetic to the woman shit needs to stop because women are just abusing that. Like, it used to be an okay thing, but now women just, you know, they're so predatory when it comes to divorces, and it's so stupid. I've had to help so many dudes through divorces and, like, let them know that even though the state might do this, you have the ability to fight it. Like, it's fine. You can prove it. Oh, man. Enough about women's rights. It's time to speak about women's wrongs. I agree. They did fix the child support. Child support needs to be completely adjusted. I don't think that that's right either. The thing about the new New York City frontrunner is, who is he beholden to, the DSA or the Muslims? Because if he thinks he just shunned the DSA as children, I don't think that will go well for him. Anybody who votes for him should be forced to stick with him. No savvy on cam. Everyone boo this woman, man. I got a shit, man. I'm not gonna let my bloated ass be on fucking cam. Lesbian divorce rate is a strong indicator of what drives the overall divorce rate. Yes. Undoubtedly true there. Women be crazy. Women be crazy. This is why the 19th was a mistake. Because I don't want to pay taxes. That, and I genuinely believe most men are fucking perfectly fine. We could not have a functioning society if most men were the monsters that they proclaimed. In fact, sometimes I honestly wish men were the monsters that these fucking insane people proclaimed, because then they couldn't proclaim anything anymore. Bloated Savvy, new kink unlocked. I'm not gonna lie, if I drink bleach later, it'll be because of that comment. For legal reasons, that's a joke. Savvy and Flesh. Stop it! No! 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 We're not doing that. That's wrong. I will start gooning to fucking Yowie if you try to hijack that shit. We're not doing that. We're not doing it. Girthy Banana, thank you so much. A girl I was courting stopped talking to me because I said I won't marry without a prenup. Every single dude needs to bring up the prenup. Every single guy. I was the one with my husband to bring it up. I said, how do you feel about this? I told him, I respect having separate bank accounts. I respect you being in control of your funds. I'll be in control of mine. But at the end of the day, we consider our wealth as being one. But it's better to have different bank accounts. And then when I told him why, because I'm a paranoid fucking freak who thinks that the end of the world is nigh, at least if one bank goes down, the other won't. This is one of the reasons. 2, I think that it's useful because in case somebody then has an issue with identity theft, you still have access to other money. It was a big, huge, long thing. But no, my husband and I had that talk and it didn't ruin anything. I was the one who brought it up. I was the one who told him I intend to die beside him. I'm too schizo not to, and I have abandonment issues. And if he tries to leave me, then, the breathing will become difficult. But, that's also for legal reasons a joke. And yeah, we're 5 years very happily married and 6 years together. We would have gotten married after the first 3 months, but we were both shy and didn't want to scare off the other person. But yeah, so that was a thing. If a woman flips out over the prenup conversation in today's day and age, that's the red flag. Fucker, get out, get out. My son says society is so biased to protecting women that the way to change the divorce laws would be for men who get screwed to do horrible things to their ex-wives. Then the laws will change to protect the women from that. I don't. Wait, what? No, I mean, I think I see what you sort of mean. I don't know. I think the laws just need to favor the men again. Is she still depressed? Yes, I am. But we have Varka to look forward to. Jesus Davila, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Please enjoy. Please enjoy whoever wins it. Enjoy the bush givings. I assume you're in a credit union, Savvy, and husbando too. No. But I'm also not going to say what I have. Or what he has. That would be bad. I'm still depressed over Pokemon. We're all depressed. It's true. We're all depressed over Pokemon, even people who don't know it yet. What else do we have here? Oh, yeah, we were making fun of that. The last thing on my list for things worth talking about today, if you got to the prenup conversation and she flips out, you missed a bunch of other red flags. That's true, too. Although I also believe in having the prenup conversation literally up front. I remember, I think it was only like the 3rd day of talking to my husband, and I mentioned, I told him straight up, I was like, oh, hey, by the way, I have a spinal rotation that may or may not cause problems for a pregnancy in the future. If having kids is important to you, I may not be the best pick just because it's up in the air on whether or not I can actually give birth. And he's just like, oh, okay, whatever, that's fine. Like, there are just some things I do believe that you should just be upfront about and bold, and if, it just saves time. Because, like, imagine if maybe, a year down the road, and then it turns out that they are health problems, and then it's like, then he doesn't feel like he gets a say. And it's like, I just think, if having his own blood birthed by the woman that he's married to is super important on the list, then, you know, he deserved the respect to be able to make that decision early, right? So, I don't know. Treat dating like a business meeting if you're serious about life partners. Exactly. I put up, and the other thing too, though, is don't think that just because you're dating somebody that you have to stick with them. I made that mistake. I was loyal to a fault, but eventually you grow, because they were people who did not deserve the loyalty. And I was stupid for sticking around and for fighting for it, because those were terrible relationships, obviously. But I was always under the mindset that, you know, when you're dating somebody, that is for the consideration of marriage. And so I always tried to be as blunt and honest as I could. But definitely my early relationships were retarded. But come towards my fourth strikeout, we didn't even make whoopee. It was that short-lived because I just like, we kind of just knew I wasn't what he was going to want. And like, there was no hard feelings because of it. Like, it was just fine. You know, you spend a few months, you enjoy talking to the person, but then it's like, maybe the romance doesn't work out. He was on a different level than I was. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This is totally fine. I wish you well. Like, nothing bad happened on one of my last breakups. It was just like, I wish you well. That's it. That's all. Because I treated it like a prospect of a business, basically. We were blunt, and it's fine. Well, look at Savvy bragging about multiple. No, I do not brag. Jesus Christ, those were embarrassing. I wish my husband was my first and only. I do. I'm glad that I never, you know, I was so awkward around sex that was never like something that I pursued often. And I didn't care about it really. But, you know, I wish all the time I met my husband sooner. I wish all the time that he was the only person who I had been with. Obviously you can't change that, but the prenup conversation is more like the will conversation. You can make one with you and with your spouse input, or the government gets to decide when the time comes. Oh God. What? No Taylor Swift crash out breakup? Don't worry. I suffered from breakups. There were two of them that hit me very hard and put me into a very, very stupid depression that should have never happened because they were terrible relationships, but it's funny to look back on. But it's fucking funny. But anyway, the last topic to bring up, we'll get off of my eugenics rant and marriage. Which I'm sure people will try to claim that I'm a terrible person for such things. You hear the word eugenics and you're like, oh, you're for it. It's like, yeah, so are you stupid bitch. Oh, no, I would never kill a baby because of something. It's like, no, bitch, eugenics is literally selective breeding. You're so stupid. If you have a preference, you're participating in eugenics. Stop. Anyway. The Sims, EA is already making adjustments. EA pulls the plug on The Sims Mobile. The complete shutdown begins. They had their final update, and come, I think, January 20th of 2026, you will not be able to access the game. Of course, people who are Sims fans are very upset by this, but what do you expect when the company decides to enter into a crazy fucking loan and get bought out by two wings of individuals who are going to be chasing profits like a motherfucker. Sims Mobile was canceled and nothing of value was lost. It's true, the current iteration of The Sims, well, the reason why EA is getting sold is because of things like the current iteration of The Sims. The Saudi prince strikes? No, the loan shark striketh. So something that people don't understand with this whole deal, they think that it's just the Saudis who are going to be influencing things. And truth be told, the Saudis are the smallest of the problem. EA took out a massive loan to be able to buy back all the stocks. Guess who profited from that? The stocks were bought back at a very generous price, which means all the top people and all the people who had stock options instead of a salary, they got a big fucking payout. Yeah. A really big payout. Their stocks have never come close to $210, and that was the buying price. Guess what happened after, though? They had to take out a massive fucking multi-billion-dollar loan to be able to do this. EA only profits in its best years a couple, maybe 1 to 2 billion. So if you got to be paying back the same amount that you would normally profit in a year on interest alone, you are fucked. You are fucked. They are going to be chasing monetization and safety through the roof. They're not going to take any chances. They're going to monetize the shit out of what few licenses they have and pray for the best. And this will be the end of EA. EA does not come out of this on top. EA will not win. They will be forced to sell IPs. They will be forced to sell what little they have. I wish I had shorted EA. We all do. We all do. EA, this is the beginning of the end. EA will never come back from this. They will not be able to. They will be owned for life. Now, if they were to hire somebody like me, I could make them profitable, but they won't do that. They won't do that. They won't give me the budget that I need. They won't engage in the negotiations that I need them to. Enjoy the slop, EA, pay pigs. Well, see, the thing about the pay pigs, though, is that if there's no pores playing the games, nobody wants to pay pig. You learn that very quickly if you play any sort of mobile game. No Dead Space and Need for Speed. No, Dead Space and Need for Speed are great IPs. They were. Yeah, and they will most likely either get sold off or the safest of the safe, most embarrassing version will come out next. And then they'll die. And that's it. They are already failed. They already failed for them for years and they're going to die. Yeah, exactly. Ah, hello. Welcome to the Yap Fest. Battlefield will not save them. Battlefield cannot generate the kind of money that they need it to. Now, if they had gone down the attractive character route with well-written characters, maybe there'd be hope. But they ain't done that, and they're not gonna do that. Rip Command & Conquer, I hope they sell it. I hope I'm able to somehow fucking gain enough wealth by then to buy Command. I would buy the Command & Conquer line. I would buy it, I would delete the mobile game, and I would relaunch the original games in one giant bundle. I would launch them all together, all the originals, and then I would make a very, very faithful follow-up to Tiberian Sun, and then I would continue on the inspiration from Red Alert, and I would bring back all the goofy acting, and I would just make games literally fun again, and that's it. Make Kane great again. Yes. Savvy, they need to budget all the new games from EA at 100 million and below. Just greenlight creativity at 50 and below million and left and right. Yeah, exactly. Just do what Pokemon just did. Just do that. Savvy running Command & Conquer. Zeus gives Savvy Command & Conquer. My life is yours. You never know. The world is crazy. Command & Conquer. Command & Conquer was so fucking good. Command & Conquer was literally one of the best fucking games to ever game. EA botched Dead Space 3. They thought they could force monetization and work the game around it while compromising the original story that was envisioned. At least that's what I remember. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people think too. But Command & Conquer was so good. So good. But yeah, so EA is fucked. EA is so fucked. There's a great YouTuber, Not Malcolm. That's his username, Not Malcolm. He is fantastic. He was the one who he's trying to make a lot of noise about this and raise awareness, and then he calls out all the scummy sim tubers and stuff like that. I really enjoy his content. He's a sweetheart. Go check him out if you're ever looking for more info on Sims drama and stuff, because man, is it a good tea time. I don't play Sims, but the patch notes are some of the wildest things to read. I can't even read them now. I just can't. They ruined that series. They took away all the magic and all the things that made it The Sims, because it wasn't just a simulation game. There was a story. And people went buck wild on, oh, it needs to mirror real life 100%. I need my pronouns. Like, fuck off. You adopted the game because the game was soft-edged. If it was still looking like The Sims 2, you wouldn't be here. And normal people who just want to have their fucking Sims turn to drugs and hooker lifestyles would be back on top. So, I mean, literally, the only thing that you can do with The Sims to bring back any charm is just get mods to actually add personality and conflict to it, because there's no conflict anymore. There's none of that. Everything always devolved into the sex basement hotels and having sex slaves. That was fun. That was fun. At least the doors and windows so the Sims get stuck with a fire. It's literally the best. It's the best. Bring back jokes. Make jokes. Make dark humor great again. I've been defending mouthwashing again, even though the co-founder hates normal people. Been defending the shit out of that lately because mentally ill people that they cultivated as their base are upset over them having a reference to rape in their figure with Anya. Just because she got beat up. Like, I think that shit's fucking great. I think that shit's hilarious. There needs to be more of it. Actually, if I'm being perfectly honest, there's a couple of yaoi fucking mangas with very aggressive scenes that I would love to own statues of. And, like, you know, if they were in positions that showed the graphic goodness, I'd be so fucking happy. Like, I don't give a fuck. Let me own what I want to fucking own. You know what? I'm gonna make it myself. That's what I'm gonna do. I need to get back into 3D printing. Imagine how much EA could make bringing back SSX. Oh my god! Bring back SSX fucking Tricky! Give me that song every time you enter the boost state. It's tricky, blah, 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 blah. Give me back Elise with her long board. Oh, that Canadian blonde bitch. She was the hottest fucking shit. I would do the coolest of tricks on her red fucking longboard with the white Canadian leaf in the middle of it. It was such a good time. The clothing, the music, the tricks, the vibes, everything about her. So gorgeous. I loved that game. And then you had Kiara. Was it Kiari or Kiara? I don't remember. I thought her name was a little bit more frill. The Japanese chick, she was a lot of fun. Oh my god, I loved her. They had some good bitches on there, eh? It's so good. Oh, my Canadian came out. Fuck. Yeah, I love, oh man, dude, I missed fucking SSX. A really fun snowboarding racing game. It was so good. It's a fucking leaf. Savvy's stream really has several flavors of crazy. Yeah, and then my videos are like, thank you for coming to today's info dump. Today we're going to talk about soft subjects. Oh. Canadian accent detected. Oops. Yeah, that's the good shit. That's the good shit. But that's really about it that I had today. That's all. What's this do? Oh! Okay, I guess I'll stay here. We'll leave. I guess we'll just leave this screen up. Who cares? Heck it. Who it? There's a list of EA's APs on Wiki. It's actually crazy how many great games they had. Yes. And that's how much that they're going to have to sell off. A Canadian. It's been a while since I've seen a sane Canadian in the wild. I'm not sane. I'm just a different flavor of crazy. Bipolar savvy, so normal woman. Ha! Yeah. I thought the Canadian accent sounded like Apu from Simpsons. At least according to Nux. Is that the new Apu? Oh, God. I used to love doing my Indian tech support accent, but that'll get you canceled still these days, I think. I don't know. I was very proud of it. I still do it on Overwatch. This is why I don't stream games, by the way. Why I don't stream my online games. One, because then I'd have to make entirely new fucking accounts so nobody came and found me. Two, because I'm usually playing a character or doing some dumb shit. Oh, man. They ruined Medal of Honor. Not leaving well enough alone. Yeah, they ruined everything. Dude, do SOCOM games still get made? It's completely random. The new Dr. Hibbert sounds awful. Well, everybody new tends to sound awful. When they ruin what was. Girthy Banana, thank you so much. We come for the news, we stay for the mid-stream crash outs. That's very true. That's a good way to put it, I suppose. I miss the gamer lobby days during 360 era. Yes! Yeah, SOCOM is dead. Sony IP. Damn, that sucks. I can see West Taiwan trying to buy all of EA's IPs. Thomas, thank you so much for gifting one membership to the individual who enjoys it. Please do enjoy. Thank you so much for being a bush giver. SOCOM was good fun. I played it on the PSP, the original PSP, while my dad was overseas in the military. I actually really am upset that we didn't play more. There's so many things. Oh man, I just got really existential. I was about to say there's so many things. If I could go back and redo things differently, I would. And now I would just want to cry. Well, I guess since I want to cry now. Oh god, this one's going to be a bad one. Oh fuck. All right, see, that's how quick it comes on. You guys can't tell, but I'm actually starting to get really teary-eyed. So I guess I'm going to go. God, I'm such a fucking retard. Thank you so much for being here. You guys think I'm joking. No, I'm actually doing it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I do appreciate it. It means a lot. Crash out imminent. No, I just have to go smoke a bunch of weed now and stare out a window for about 2 hours until I can get myself under control. And then I have to call my dad and be like, hey, I know you don't remember this, but remember that time I said something stupid? I'm really sorry. And now I hate myself even more for it. That's what it's like to be a woman. That actually literally sums up being a woman perfectly. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. We had a glorious Monday show, an hour and 44. That's way longer than I thought that I would last, given the fact that I constantly feel the need to go sit upon my porcelain gilded throne. Yes, my toilets are indeed made of gold. That's totally not a lie. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. I don't know. Anyway, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will hope to see you tomorrow. If not, for sure Wednesday. A good night. Enjoy.